Welcome back everyone, thanks for tuning in to another video review, and today we are taking a look at the Gentle Giant 2017 Premier Guild gift, Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi from Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. Now for those of you that do collect and follow the Gentle Giant mini bust line, the 2017 PGM gifts were met with quite a few delays. Now a lot of those were out of the control of Gentle Giant themselves, and for those of you that don't know, Gentle Giant isn't allowed to simply make and produce any and every character and piece and figure that they want. They have to go through licensing agreements, contracts, through Disney, through Lucasfilm, through, character and actor rights and likenesses and all that. So a lot of people do complain, why we get certain characters over and over again and why we are subjected to certain characters over another, and sometimes it's just out of their control, and that's kind of why we saw issues in their Marvel line and other lines too. But the pieces that we do get are always phenomenal, and they put out some pretty fantastic work, including this Obi-Wan Kenobi piece that I just got in a few days ago, and I'm very happy to finally have him after the much anticipated wait. And even with that, there were a lot of shipping and manufacturing issues that caused the delay, which again, it was out of the control of Gentle Giant. So let's take a closer look at the mini bust in front of us. Of course, as always, taking a look at the packaging first off. Let me move him in front. So it was definitely a somewhat different packaging before. It was a more elongated. I can't really fit the whole thing in the image, but I will scroll up and down. And at the top you can see the 2017 Premier Guild gift logo and the with illuminating lightsaber feature. We have the full Obi-Wan piece, and then the character description and Star Wars logo, another angle, and an image of Alec Guinness from Episode 4 just as he is about to duel Darth Vader. And if you want to pause that to read it, let me clear it up for you. There you go. If you want to pause and read it. And that is about it, and I'll explain in just a moment why the packaging is like it is. And of course at the bottom we do have the edition size. This is number 547 out of 850. So usually in the past when we have Jedi or Sith pieces that have a lightsaber component, the lightsaber itself or hands or arms, something, is detachable so that the packaging is smaller and you can remove and interchange pieces and whatnot. In this case they did not do that, because they actually changed the way the illuminated feature is on this piece. In the past, a lot of the light up features were powered by the flat disc batteries. I'm not sure what they're called, but in this case they actually provide you with two AAA batteries that, as usual, do get put in on the bottom. You just unscrew this here and you pop that open, and the batteries lay flat here. And the switch to turn on the lightsaber light is there, which I will do in just a moment. I know in some pieces, especially when we look at the Kotobukiya or Hot Toys line, the individual batteries will go in the arms, in the chest, in the headpiece. In this case, and actually in other cases of our past Gentle Giant pieces as well, like the Iron Man, War Machine, Republic Commando, and others. In this case, I just don't see where else they would have put the batteries unless they made some component here detachable, which I don't think would have been a very good fit because of the pose they have with him. So it's completely fine with me that they have him the way that they do and presented him in the elongated package, because then everything fits just fine and everything works out perfectly. So let me go ahead and do a close-up of the piece before showing you the lightsaber feature. Now the face is almost a striking image of Alec Guinness. There is one thing I am not too fond of, which you can probably tell in the mini bust itself, and that is the eyes. They are definitely a little bit droopy. The right eye here, it's a little bit droopy, and it's the lazy eye essentially. And even when you look, and I'll show again the image on the packaging, it's pretty, it's lined up pretty well. It's not too bad. And then we go back to the mini bust and it's pretty far off. Other than that, however, the beard is on point, the facial structure and features on point, the wrinkles, we have a little bit of hair up here, even the eye color, everything else is pretty darn good looking. And it's just the eye structure or the paint, the paint app, if I can get that a little bit closer too, it just isn't that great. And I don't want to say this is a quality control issue, because it seems like all the mini busts are like that. It's just the way the production turned out. So it's somewhat unfortunate, but it's such a minor case that I'm not gonna make a big fuss about it, because everything else just looks absolutely phenomenal. You know, the robe itself is pretty darn cool. They have all the tethered features here on the hood, and you know, the almost oversized robe around his body and shoulders. We have the amazing wrinkling to make it look like he is actually in motion, as we are accustomed to with the Gentle Giant pieces that they always do such a great job with, and all the textures and paints and whatnot. And of course we have the classic hooded design of Ben Kenobi. And taking a closer look at the undergarments here, we have the tannish beige robe, or shirt I guess, underneath him. His classic lightsaber that we are also accustomed to seeing. And they just did a great job with all the paint and the hands and the facial feature also. So overall, this is a pretty phenomenal mini bust. You know, they really nailed it and hit it out of the park with this. And just getting a closer look at the bottom. So the cloak or the robe does droop down to the bottom of the, or to the base of the mini bust, but you know, it won't be dragging. They have the little soft pads underneath, but you know, it really creates that more of a life-like feature to him. So now let me go ahead and turn on the lightsaber, the light for the lightsaber. Now I guess this is also another slight issue I have with it, where in the past with the light up features we have when it comes to the masks or lightsaber, you know, Gentle Giant did a pretty good job at making it a bright light. For some reason here, even, I mean, I understand we have light, and that's the reason I'm actually doing this review at night, so when I turn off the lights we can see the light up feature better. Even with the lights on, it just does not get illuminated as much as I had hoped so, and you know, that I'm used to. So again, just turn on the switch here, and I guess it might depend on your light, because now that I'm, you know, doing it at night, even with my room light on, it is pretty bright. Earlier I did it during the day when I just had natural light, and this was a very faint blue until I turned off the lights in a dark room. But you know, now it actually does look better, so I'm a little less upset with the way they presented the lighting. And as you can see, it's a beautiful blue that they do have, as opposed to, you know, the almost whitish color that we do see in the movies. So they were able to really capture that blue shade for the lightsaber. Just turning it around here. And even the design of the lightsaber is pretty unique and different than what we are used to. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it, but you can almost tell it has that design from the movie, where we see like the inner rod and then the vibrant lighting from the outside. Let me go ahead and turn off the lights, and we can take a look at him with the lights off. Now, as you can see, with all the lights off, he is a pretty bright light. He does shine like a nightlight essentially, and he does illuminate the face pretty well. Hopefully I can capture that nicely. There we go. That's a really cool shot that we are able to grab, and I will turn on one of the backlights in just a moment, but you know, the way this is right now, this is pretty bright light and looks pretty cool, and the camera is capturing it more of a white light now, you know, that it is dark, but earlier obviously you did see that it was blue, and even in person, not quite a sky blue, almost between a sky blue and a navy blue. It's just a very nice color here. There we go. So let me go back and turn on one of the backlights, and now back on with the lights on. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you can really see more of the blue when the lights are on, and it might just be during natural daylight that the lighting isn't as bright or, you know, as vibrant of a blue as we see right now. So let me just turn that around one more time. And even now in the camera, it is, I can tell it's a very faint blue, where in person it's more of a very darker, bold blue. Alright, well there we have it, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the latest video review. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. If not, then feel free to follow and like and subscribe all my pages. And if you find any of these left over from Gentle Giant, you know, best of luck. If not, then good luck on eBay as well. Thank you again for watching, and stay tuned for my next video review.